Welcome to the regular season finale edition of our Fearless Football Forecast. I'm Ronnie Woodward. Here's Tony Castleberry and Jim Gentry. Guys, there's 4 games. Everyone seems like there's something on the line. Conference championship, seeding for playoffs. So a lot of good games. Looks like a perfect way to end the season.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining season. I think we all agree that there's been at least one storyline with almost every Pitt County team this year. So great way to cap the season.
Feels like it's been more entertaining than years past.
Yeah,
just
agreed.
For a lot of reasons. It's been pretty cool. It's been a fun one. Well, the last week here, Tony started us off. North Lenoir is at Aiden Grifton, hoping to clinch that conference title outright.
Yeah, a resurgent Aiden Grifton team. Terrible start to the season. Awful in the non-conference. Got to conference play, and here they are at 4-0, and with an absolute blowout of Kinston last week. I mean, I think we all picked Aiden Grifton to win that game. I don't think any of us saw 76-0 coming. That was pretty impressive. Paul Cornwell, the coach there, has gotten that thing turned around as he tends to do once they got into conference play, and the Chargers are really rolling.
Yeah, if there's ever such thing as a statement victory, Aiden Grifton did it last
No doubt.
You picking the Chargers again?
I'm absolutely picking them. They're hot right now. The offense is really rolling. Defense has played well, too. With a shutout at Kinston, I'm impressed by that. I don't think Aiden Grifton has a problem this week.
All right, Jim?
Then with the Chargers, too. Tony just touched on the defense. They've allowed, averaging about 7 points given up the last 3 games, and that's pretty impressive. You know, it's just they seem to be getting better and better each week.
Yep.
So I got to pick the Chargers.
I agree. Aiden Grifton keeps it going, clinches that title outright, undefeated in that conference.
Amazing turnaround.
With a win. I think they do it. Next game, Jim, a huge one as well. Speaking of trying to clinch a conference championship, D.H. Conley travels to South Central.
Yeah, this will be really interesting because, you know, obviously Conley probably goes in as a favorite, but they're also dealing with a few factors. One, a short week, having played New Bern on Monday.
True.
2, having played New Bern, a game where you know they were really geeked up for. Huge game. Basically, you know, your chances at a conference championship were on the line there. And now, you know, you got 3 days off, and all of a sudden you got to play your big rival. Well, I guess Rose and South Central are big rivals, but so you know, there's a lot on the line here. You know, and Eagles got a big game going on down in New Bern as well, so you know, they're going to basically be checking scores and seeing how things are going. But just you know, the pressure's not off of Conley at this point. You can't go down to South Central and get a loss.
Yeah, definitely. They need to finish this thing off and build on what they did against New Bern. You picking the Vikings?
Yeah, you know, South Central's shown some improvement last couple of weeks.
Definitely.
You know, Furlough's had a couple big games.
Yeah.
I saw them play Pasquotank on Monday, so they're also dealing with a short week as well. But that game really went a contest. South Central really rolled.
Yeah.
A big difference in competition on what Conley played on Monday and what South Central played on Monday.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But I just think Conley's going to be a little too much. I think they're still going to be riding high off that win, and Pascal will have them level-headed going into that contest.
Right.
So I think Conley wins.
I agree. I think South Central's going to play them tough because of the rivalry, the emotions, all that. But Conley's too much, and with all that on the line, I mean, they can go win that conference championship. I think Conley gets it.
Yeah, I think Conley will win too. Malik Gorham has really worked himself seamlessly back into that offense and defense. He's making big plays for that team. I think you'll have a few in that game. In a close game, but I think Conley will win.
All right, next game here, Jim touched on it. Rose goes to New Bern. Both of these teams are hoping Conley loses, and then whoever wins this one we'd have a big tie, and Rose or New Bern would get the first seed out of the playoffs. But still, it's all kind of depending on what happens Friday. But on the field, this is a huge game either way. I mean, for the seeding, for what happens with the conference, and then it's a huge rivalry game.
It is.
Rose and New Bern have played. You know, they play every year. It seems like the last week of the regular season. Like Jim said, New Bern's had a short week. Rose has a full week of preparation, so I think that comes into play a little bit. New Bern, though, lately is kind of owned this series. They've won 6 straight in the series. It's at New Bern, so a tough task for Rose, but just from getting a vibe from them some this week, I covered the Contiguous Street thing earlier this week. They were hyped up for this game and saying, hey, we want to go down there and compete and win this thing and try to get a share of that conference championship. So I think it's a close game. You know, typical of this series would be my guess. For my pick, I hate to do it for the Rampants, but I'm going with New Bern. At home, I like the Bears at home. I don't think they lose two weeks in a row. I mean, even though it's a short week, I think they're motivated after the Conley loss, and I think they get a close home win.
Yeah, that's a good point, but I'm going the opposite way. I think Rose is going to win. I feel like offensively they'll do enough to beat that New Bern team. I think you mentioned the hangover, Jim. I think that also happens to the losing team as well. And I feel like New Bern maybe was a little bit stunned that they lost at Conley. They knew Conley was good, but I don't think they expected to lose that game.
Yeah.
I think maybe the hangover hurts them, even though they are at home. I feel like the Rampants will get a win.
All right, Jim, break the tie here.
Well, Tony kind of stole my thunder. I thought I was going to be the only one picking Rose in this one. You know, I saw them play recently and watched the coaching staff talk to the players afterwards. You know, they've been aiming for this conference championship.
Yeah.
They looked at this New Bern game as a title game. Now, I don't think they anticipated Conley, you know, basically being in the driver's seat right now. But
Yeah.
I think those guys are going to be in the right place mentally, and I don't know if New Bern's going to be after that loss like Tony touched on. So I'm going to put the Ramps in a really close game, just like that Conley game.
Yeah.
I think Rose goes down there and gets a big win.
All right, so I'm the bad guy. I'll take it. That's cool.
Ronnie Woodward.
Yeah.
I think it's
Or
close
Woodward.
either way. But all right, last game here, another rivalry game.
Yeah.
Tony. North Pitt against Farmville Central.
Yeah, Farmville Central, I'm reading your notes here, Ronnie, that Farmville Central's won 3 straight in this series, which is kind of interesting considering how bad Farmville Central's been in recent years. Farmville Central, not bad this year.
Actually, scratch that. That should be North Pitt.
Okay, well, thanks for misleading me.
I thought that was
Because
really
they went
weird.
winless
Yeah.
one year. But as I mentioned, Farmville Central not down this season. They're
Yeah.
having a phenomenal year, a turnaround season for them for sure. North Pitt has kind of gone off the rails since conference play started. A little
Yeah.
bit surprising because usually they play well in that league. But Farmville Central is going to be pumped for this game. You know they will be.
Yeah, my bad on that correction. North Pitt has had the edge here recently.
Okay.
You're picking that one.
I think Farmville Central is going to pull it out.
Okay.
They've dealt with injuries, they've dealt with some adversity all year, and all they've done is rally around that and continue to win. Like I said, I feel like they're going to be amped for that game. It'll be a good way for them to go into the playoffs, getting a win over North Pitt.
All right, Jim.
I'm gonna go with the Jaguars as well. I just think this is be another good game, but I think they're just primed to win this one and end that streak. You know, kind of start turning that series around. A
Yeah.
little bit.
All right. I'm going to be the bad guy again, I guess. I'm going to go with the Panthers in a close one. I know they're 1-3 in the league, but they've had some close losses. I covered last week they lost to Washington, a game that they were winning at halftime and probably easily could have won. They slipped up a little bit late. I don't know. I liked what I saw from that running game and what they're doing on offense. So I'm going with North Pitt. I guess it's probably an upset.
Yeah.
Well, there's no bad guys.
Yeah.
They're both local teams. So.
And different
That's
picks
true.
are fine.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, a lot of good games. Obviously, some close ones, and we all think that's going to be the case. So make sure you go check one out. Grab the paper and check reflector.com, and we'll see you for the playoff edition next week.
Dun, dun, dun.